Oh, we back with One Piece.
So, this this chapter, I'm gonna be honest, didn't feel like a One Piece to me. Like, it was good, but it felt like Oda. It literally felt like Oda did a whole writing change with this.
Yes,
Like,
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but when I was reading this, like, keep in mind, I was reading this on the way to California on a bus. It was like fucking 1 a.m. I might have been tired.
You were in some like different transcendent mind space.
Yeah, but when I was reading this, I really felt like, is this One Piece? Like, is this Oda writing
this? Is a fanfic? Bro, are you conspiracying right now? Like, Oda died and someone else took over?
Like, high key, it feels like that. Because, hear me out.
All right, I want to hear your reasons. I'm curious.
It feels like Oda just gave us everything. Legitimately, this whole chapter felt like Oda didn't go subtle at all. He just gave us everything.
Right, like, and it became like a fanfic written by like a fan or something.
Not even that. It's just like, Oda's writing, it's usually very subtle. It usually has build up to certain things. It usually has, a chapter and then become like a big like reveal or some shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. You know, very, very structural Oda way. But this chapter threw all of that out the window. Like, everything we know in this chapter is just like,
yeah. Some
things we know in this chapter, he just flat out told us. I'm just like, wow, okay.
You're right. I mean, so the vibe I got, I'm not going to go into some my fucking stroking out here, conspiratory place and say that it's not Oda. I know you're not saying that, but I more took it as Oda's kind of pumping the gas a little, right? Like, he's speeding it up because it was like 6 days, 5 days, 4 days. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to get to the raid. I think it's like, all right, I've done all the setup. It's time to kind of speed up to the raid, right? Now, you're right in the sense that, like, so many things that would have been considered, like, end of chapter end of chapter cliffhanger worthy just happened in this chapter, right? So, like,
yeah.
Apu back. It's just in the smack dab in the middle of the chapter. Fucking the numbers. What the fuck are the numbers? These giant motherfuckers. They're just there. Law and Hawkins off screen discuss like half of a plan, and we get the other half where it's like, all right, Hawkins, I guess you're setting me free. And by the way, let's jump into the Law Hawkins. Okay, so I kind of had to piece together what happened here. So what I got out of it was Hawkins let Law go and basically told him, yeah, I want Kaido taken down. I'm just kind of pretending to work with him. And then Law, before he just walked out, Law was like, no. I need some questions answered. So he cut the motherfucker in half and said, if you want your torso reattached, you're answering my questions. And then that's where we jump in. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, you know?
It's just crazy, bro. I don't we found out. So we know that it was all a trick all along. Apu was actually under Kaido.
Apu! I knew he was the fucking bitch, bro. Like I knew it. Just from like the first time we saw him talking to Kaido on Den Mushi, he was like the bootlicker. He's like the one that gets down on his knees like, oh yes, Kaido, sir. Oh Kaido. You know, I'm telling you.
So this means that Alex Kidd's comment to Luffy talking about how he would never do alliances again makes sense now.
It's even more poignant because he got extra betrayed, yeah.
So it's just like, that shit would have been in-game chapter reveal, or at least close to it, right? Like, it's just like Oda, and then
this
like
was
the whole
one of the
fight.
best chapters in a while. I really enjoyed reading this one.
Like they had a whole fight, and now we didn't even see it, and
that's
now
the problem,
it's just
though,
like
off screen, yeah.
Bro, I'm like, keep in mind, this chapter was really good. I mean, really fucking good. But it was just like Oda, man. Like, just to think of Oda, it was just like, oh no, we're just gonna skip this, put this here. I'll skip this. I mean, that's not important. Feel like a little fight here, and skip that.
Nah.
It's like he's picking and choosing what he wants to show us, and what he doesn't. It's just like, god damn, man.
I genuinely think that Oda has gotten himself into a situation where his world that he's created is so big and massive, he just can't show it all, which is depressing, honestly. That is kind of the constant fuckery of Oda, right? Like, that's the that's kind of the paradox of One Piece. I love how big the world is, but he can't really devote all the time to showing it, you know? But, like, talking about what we do have here, I appreciate that Hawkins goes into exactly what his cards read at the time of, you know, when Kaido just fucking fell. So, like, his cards read 0% victory, 0% escape, and chance of surviving if we submit 40%. So even submitting to Kaido, only a 40% chance of surviving. I'm like, Jesus, I love that. And also, your theory,
so
you've been kind of headcanoning.
I really like that.
Hold on, one last thing. You've been kind of headcanoning Kaido to be like this guy who loves making people join his crew. Like, join my crew, join my crew. That was kind of confirmed in this chapter, because Kaido's straight up, it's like confirmed, like, he doesn't like just going and killing people. He likes to kind of break them and be like, join me? Yes, I love that.
So, see, you're right. We had a whole argument about that, and I was right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were. And, by the way, I do love the simplicity of how Law tortures him. Literally just cuts his legs off. It took me a sec. I'll be honest with you. I was skimming over the chapter, and then I realized, oh, shit, he is cut in half. And I love that. What else was I going to say here about this? Yeah, when, you know, Killer and Kid fought him until they couldn't move. Would have liked to see that, Oda, but, you know, of course. Other things. Yeah, so one last thing I wanted to ask you about this Law situation here. Hawkins kind of is like, oh, he kind of prods about the alliance with the Straw Hats, right? And then he says, but now we've had a change of heart. So is that implying that Law, because I know he got pissed at the alliance because they were kind of dissing his crew and shit. Is Hawkins trying to imply that, like, Law maybe isn't loyal to the Straw Hat Alliance anymore, do you think?
I don't know, because I think Law himself is still, because I don't think so, because I think it would be backtracking on his character development if it was, because Luffy is the main reason why his history with Doffy kind of got squared away.
True.
And I think that if it would be a regression on Law's character development if he just like, oh yeah, sorry Luffy, I don't trust you anymore, we're going. Because they had like a whole, I feel like Luffy and Law bonded as captains at Dressrosa already. So if Dressrosa didn't happen, then yes, I would say so. But since it happened, to me at least, I think it would be a huge regression. Because Law himself has seen what the Straw Hats are capable of, right, and they know how to keep their promises when it comes to shit, right? And he's seen that. And Dressrosa was more of a personal matter for Law because of his history with Doffy. And Luffy beating Doffy was kind of like a killing two birds with one stone for Law, because it's kind of like a revenge for Law and Kodo-san. And then, you know, so I think that, and let's be honest, Straw Hats have saved Law multiple times. So...
All right, that's a good point. What do you make of this line then, though? Because he's kind of like smiling, like, "Oh, your alliance with Straw Hat's going well. Made it all the way to Wano with no problems. But what now? Had a change of heart? Like that makes me feel like maybe like off screen he was shit talking them. Like I wonder where that's. It's just that line kind of threw me off.
I don't know, because where are you saying that? Maybe it's just like a
page 6 on Manga Stream. And again, like, he's smiling, and like, it's where Law says, I don't have to answer your questions, but he basically says... Oh, yeah,
asking the questions. I think, I don't know.
What does your official manga app say?
My official manga app. It says, now that you've come happily into Wano, has your opinion changed at all?
On and what?
He just says... That's it. That just says, has your opinion changed at all?
No, what was the first thing he said before that? The panel to the right where it's him smiling. What does it say on that one?
Oh, but your alliance with Straw Hat seems to be going well.
Okay.
Now that you've come happily into Wano, has your opinion changed at all? And he says, then it's a slice, and then he says, I'm the one asking the questions.
I assume that slice was him putting Hawkins back together with his fruit, I'm guessing.
Maybe, or maybe he killed Hawkins.
No, he's standing behind him. Or maybe he's just slicing the door open. I don't fucking know. But point being, from what you read there, it almost sounds more like he's kind of goading him. Like, you know, look at how to shit your plan went immediately. Do you still feel, do you still like this alliance? I think that you're, like usual, your translation was better, because it sounds more like Hawkins is just like, oh yeah, you got to Wano, and then, what happened then, right? Are you still trust Luffy? I feel like he was just kind of trolling him, honestly.
Yeah, because, I mean, like I said, it would be such a regression of Law's character.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
He's been saved by Luffy multiple times. Luffy helped him spread away a debt. He's proven, the Straw Hats have proven to be good partners in an alliance. And Law doesn't seem like the type of character to just portray someone when they prove themselves, right? Law seems like that person who would say results.
Yeah, results over my feelings type of guy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how fucking stupid Luffy or his crew is. They produce results, and that's all I care for, right?
True.
I've only gotten this far because of them, right? So to me, it would feel like a kind of a waste for Law's character to do that, especially because we don't know who this person is behind him, right? Because in a translation it says if letting me walk out as a part of your plot, they consider me a willing participant.
I assume that's Hawkins.
So
I don't think that's a different guy. I think you misunderstood completely. I think Hawkins let him out. Maybe I misunderstood. I assumed Hawkins let him free because he is done. I think here's how I interpreted the situation. I think off screen Hawkins unshackled Law and said, "You're free to go. I'm just keeping up appearances because I don't actually want to work for Kaido." Then Law said, "Hold on a second, I have questions." Hawkins probably got sassy and said, "I ain't answering shit, just get the fuck out of here." And then Law said, "Fuck you, I'm cutting you in half, and then you're gonna fucking answer my questions before I put your legs back on." That's how I understood that.
Oh, well, no, he couldn't let him out. His arms are cut off, too.
Right, no, but I think he let him out before Law cut him. Obviously, because Law had to be unshackled in order to use his devil fruit.
Okay, but because I really don't, because that doesn't really make sense, because if Hawkins is on the ground and Law was being let out, then why is the black figure being shadowed? It would make no sense because we already know who Hawkins is. So there's someone behind Law, so that doesn't make any sense to me. Because if you look, Hawkins has both his arms and the butt of his torso.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I know who it is. It's Kyoshiro.
You think so?
Absolutely. Didn't you hear the anime fucking accidentally spoiled that Kyoshiro was Denjiro?
Oh my god.
Yeah, the opening of the anime showed Kyoshiro standing with the rebel fighters.
Oh god, this is why anime.
So they had some insider information from Oda, and everyone's like, "Oh, Kyoshiro's gonna be because the Denjiro they're talking about in this chapter. Oh, we don't know who Denjiro is. It's Kyoshiro. Kyoshiro just let him out."
No. Oh my god.
What's wrong with that? I mean, I knew. I had a feeling.
No, I'm mad at the spoiling. Fucking oh. God. Anime is so dude.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about that. That was huge. When the fucking Wano opening came out, it was Kyoshiro high-key standing there, and I was like, oh, okay, he's the fucking Denjiro then. He's the secret Denjiro. No one.
The fucking anime spoiled the manga. That's literally a spite to anime-only fans. To manga fans. It really was like, all right, bitch, you guys want to make fun of us because you guys are ahead of us?
Yeah, they spoiled. And the anime spoiled manga only. How does that happen?
That is we took that L, bro. That is an L for us. That is an L.
It is, bro. That means like Oda must have told them they got Oda on the fucking speed dial clearly, and someone didn't think to not make the opening so goddamn. Oh God. See, this is the problem with making an anime so close behind the manga. Yeah.
It's just because here's the thing, right? A lot of animes are being criticized because the opening spoil what the anime is about.
Is this the first time that the opening is spoiled what the manga is gonna do?
No, but here's the thing. I don't know if you noticed, but there's big, not really controversy, but big people who were pissed at SAO.
Yes, because I remember it spoiled the main bad guy, right?
The opening spoiled basically the majority of the plot. It spoiled who basically spoiled the series, you know. So that was the big thing, and a lot of people are upset because for some reason anime openings do this. They spoil. So I kind of understand why some people skip the anime openings because
Oh yeah, I typically do. After like what I do, whenever I'm watching anime, like even Hunter x Hunter kind of does this. Like not as bad, but like I always, whenever I'm watching Hunter x Hunter with a friend, I skip over the Chimera Ant opening because it shows like very obviously like Kite. And then Kite's image swirls away, and then Gon falls down and gets angry, and it's like, okay. Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
like,
Fucking. All right, I found it on. All right, the One Piece Reddit. Okay, so on One Piece Reddit, it says the new opening just spoiled a plot point that hasn't even been revealed in the manga yet. In a series of shots showing every single one of the 9 red scabbards in the newest opening, Kyoshiro appears in Denjiro's place. Seems the new opening spoiled so much it even spoiled the manga reveal. So I'll show you the picture of that real quick.
That's such an elf to us. That's such an
the manga only master race has finally gotten its L.
We've gotten an L. Like it wasn't even our fault too. It's just like an L. Like they somehow gave us an L. Like that's so bad.
They
like
self-imposed an L. Here, go to your Facebook and look at this. Like straight up, like you see that that's what they did because they were going through like shots of like all the fucking scabbards.
Oh my god, this is how you know like Oda doesn't pick a side when it comes to anime and manga. Like look at this shit. So they spoiled it, bro. That's so dumb. Oh my god, that pisses me off. We have to accept that L too. Like we have to.
I love that Thurman's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We have to accept it.
Like, bro, like that's literally anime only. It's like fucking targeting us manga ego douchebags, bro.
That's
like
so funny. That makes me sad. Like that's how you can tell Oda kind of has put a lot of his eggs in the anime basket to like fill in things that he can't do anymore. Which is sad, you know.
Yeah.
Just saying. Well, anyway, I'm glad that you got me off that though, because I high key did not get like I feel dumb. Like I just thought, God damn it. So, wow, I gotta fucking think my entire perspective on this now. So okay, so Kyoshiro walked in, fucked everyone up, freed Law, then Law on his way out fucked up Hawkins just to ask him some questions. Then is that what we're going with?
I would say so because they're both bloodied right now.
What the God? See, like, why? I hate that Oda. I love Oda, but I hate this aspect of his writing style. I hate that this is off screen. Like, why? Just show it happening. It would be just as much of a reveal for Kyoshiro. Imagine if just Kyoshiro just strolled in, like, what's up? And everyone thinks he's gonna do some fucked up shit, and then he just frees Law. Like, what's wrong with showing that? God damn it. Oda, stop with this.
So
like it is straight up getting to a point, and maybe I'm dumb, but it is getting to a point where like I get confused because he's skipping so much shit, and I'm like, okay, where are we now in the timeline? I'm watching a fucking clip show, like like it's not a show anymore; it's just a clip show.
So, all right. So now we know Luffy's training. Well, I'm really happy.
Some other shit. Yeah, this, like I said, this chapter made me happy as fuck. Luffy's training is like giving me some DBZ, like Luffy or like Goku on King Kai's planet type vibes, and I love it so much.
Yeah, what's great about this is too because like there's a running gag in One Piece. You guys don't know. So like every time Luffy has to face a Yonko or big threat, he's gonna need a 2-year time skip every time to be strong, right? So
how is that a running gag? There's been one time skip.
No, but that's the fucking joke that they say on Facebook. Like Luffy's like they always say because he got fucked up by what's his face and he had to train for 2 years and they're like, all right, well it's time for another time skip so Luffy can get strong again. So
that's a dumb joke because it only happened once. Like that makes that joke would only work if Oda relied on time skips.
Well, you know the context of the joke, so
that makes no sense. There you go. That makes no sense. Well,
make fun of them. Make fun of Facebook then.
Okay.
Make fun of all the people who use that to try to
That just makes no sense whatsoever. Like it'd be much more poignant to make that joke for Bleach, because like Kubo like abused the fucking like, oh hey, we're going to Aizen and we just happen to be in this dimension where time travels differently, so yeah. But anyway,
so I'm glad Oda wrote a way for Luffy to train for the final fight.
Luffy's been training like a motherfucker in this arc, which is I'm glad, because Oda's been making sure to put a lot of time into showing Luffy training, even in the manga where he's like high key like going a million miles an hour through all this shit. He's showing him training a bunch so that when he fucking actually does some shit to Kaido, people won't be like, nah. I know people still will be like, nah, specifically King of Lightning type people, but like at least it'll be less bad because we've seen a lot of training from him.
Yeah, and so moving on with that, like, see, and this is another thing too. Characters like Zoro deciding to give away the sword.
I know. Yeah, no, you're right about that. That threw me off because I expected that to be more of a big deal, and I love that part where he's like, I get, like, the way it's worded, it's like, well, I guess if you give you a replacement, I mean, I guess. and I think my favorite part here is he's going through like, well, even though he was already dead, I did fight Ryuma and get that sword, and then the fucking Kappa's like, he's fucking delusional.
So he was like guessing it was Moria who stole it though. So that already, Zoro was like, okay, Moria stole it. So here's the thing,
he
right?
said he wants to go to the grave and look, and that would be the time if Oda has the time to do it. I'd love to see a little fucking flashback of Hogback and Moria just like Scooby-Doo tiptoeing over there and yeeting the sword.
So
did it?
Because like it's funny because Zoro gave it up. I had a feeling he was going to give it up, but it was 50-50, right? Like, I'm surprised he gave it up that easily.
I know. It's so, like, it does feel like Oda is just like on the gas pedal, because like I agree with you. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a struggle.
Like, I thought, because he was like, well, if you give me a new sword, I'll get the sword back.
Like, I always saw Zoro as more of like a dude who really respected his swords and like kind of had a connection with them. It's weird to me that he's like, all right.
Yes. Like, even when the sword rusted, he
was fucking
upset.
did a funeral for it, bro. I love that scene.
Like, it's funny. It's weird, right? It's just weird. So,
I want to talk about fucking let's see. So a couple things, just going through real quick. We find out the lines that Yasui added. It basically just changes the harbor because all the harbors are named after animals. You add the lines, they change from snakes to lizards. Real clever. Good Oda cleverness there. I dig it. Also, fucking Frankie and Usopp working together at the ship repair place made my heart happy. Because at first I saw Frankie, and then I zoomed in and I was like, Usopp's there too. And I'm a happy boy. Because he's going back to his roots, back when he always used to repair the ships and stuff. So that makes me happy to see as an Usopp fan. Also, I'm going to say this once again. Frankie is working on these ships. So these ships better not just be fixed, okay? When we get on these ships, I don't want it to just be, oh yeah, I fixed them and they work now. No, this is Frankie, okay? These ships better have cola-powered laser beam cannons or something. Just saying.
Yep. I 100% agree.
Because Frankie gassed the fuck out of that. Like, while they were leaving Zoe, he was like, I'm going to build up some fucking weapons to take on Kaido. I was like, all right, let's do it. Just saying. That's legit, I'm hyped for that. Like, I want to see what Frankie can come up with, for sure.
So, I just realized this, but on page 10 for my official manga app, they're all there.
Yeah, Zoro and Sanji are in the same place. Like, so that's another thing. That is another thing that threw me off screen wise. So like, because remember, each one of these pages is like a day. It was like 5 days, 4 days. You know what I mean? So like, Zoro and Sanji have reunited again. Like they're back. You know, and you're right. Is it the whole crew other than Luffy at this point?
Upper, yeah. So, but where is Komurosaki? Like, where? Like, what? Like, isn't like the Kappa's there too?
Komurasaki's there. So, go to the left. She's standing there next to the right below the panel with Brook and Zoro, where Brook's saying it's wonderful. She's right below him.
Is that Kumurosaki? I thought that was the sword girl.
Oh, Kiku?
Sword-
Ooh.
Yeah, Kiku.
You're right. I don't know. That might be Kiku. Now I feel like a dum-dum.
So, but
I don't know.
So, because her brother is literally right there. And Zoro's like, what? Kiku? I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Bro, you're right. Because that should be a big moment if Komurasaki... Because, yeah, if Komurasaki is there, then, yeah, that should be a moment, like, reuniting. That would be huge. So I guess she can't be there. Like, oh, my God. I see what you mean now. This is kind of a fucking mess, isn't it? Like, oh, my God. I love this chapter, but, like, wow. I didn't realize, like, the amount of shit Oda's juggling right now.
Because, to me... Because, like, keep in mind, like, Zoro and the Kappa is there, and the Kappa. I doubt the Kappa would literally let Komurasaki be by herself.
Yeah, that's so weird.
So, and do we know what area they're in right now?
Yeah, because I'm looking at the double page spread, and you're right. It is. You're right. It's Kiku. And then Robin is holding, I assume, the girl that who's the daughter of the guy who died. Yes, Yasue. Yeah, I guess she's not there. So. I can only assume. Let me go back. Is she in any of those panels, like, where they're gathering up the weapons? Like, maybe she stayed to help them gather up the weapons?
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't see her in any of the panels. So the only thing I can assume, in order for Oda to make this make sense, is she has to just be in one of those areas. Because Oda's probably trying to wait for that to be a big moment when they reunite. Because, that is a good point. That will be a big moment.
We didn't even see Zoro. We didn't get to see Zoro go to the fucking to the thing.
Which thing?
To the grave.
Well, I certainly hope that that's going to be the way. Because he said after. In my translation, he said, "As long as I get to go to the grave afterwards" or something. Let me see exactly what he said here.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah. Let me visit his grave afterwards. So I'm hoping that's going to be like an after Wano thing, right? Like after they beat Kaido or whatever.
Okay, because, all right, I'll return the sword, but you got to let me visit his grave later.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that's going to be a post-arc thing.
Well, maybe he might not even get the Shisui away until after the fight ends.
Oh, that could be it. That could be yeah, and then like he goes into like the final arcs with like this new crazy Odin sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of the swords, when they showed the swords, I like the designs a lot of these swords. I like how one's black and one's white. They're kind of like reverse color. I really like that.
I agree.
So, a couple other things to talk about here. This fucking, I like that Oda goes into, like, the two different ways to enter, the official way and, like, the hard way, and this is something that Oda does a lot that I love. He did it with Sky Island, too, when they fucking did this crazy, immaculate way to get in Sky Island, and then Gonfall was like, you didn't just use the official channel? So, like, I like that there's, like, the crazy hard way to get in, and then, like, if you know people if you have people on the inside, then you can just get in through this, like, secret underground like harbor that's under the island itself, which is fucking awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So
and your boy fucking fuck, I just had a brain fart.
So
the instrument guy.
He has giant fucking monsters coming in.
Well, we're talking about the monsters in a second because that actually fascinates me. First, I want to talk about Apu here, because I know you were excited to see Apu again, so I was just curious in your thoughts on that.
Bro. I want to see what this man's all about. So, to me, he seems like someone who has to. Here's the thing, right? I really feel like Apu's type of character that if Kaido's losing, he would go to Luffy and Law's side.
100%. He is I'm going to whoever the winning side is, because they talked about how if you are one of the supernovas and you're going into the new world, your two options are make a name for yourself and take down a Yonko or join a Yonko. And he definitely looks to me like, I mean, even like look how he fought Kizaru. His whole thing was I'm going to hit and run, right? He is the easiest, take the easiest path of least resistance kind of guy. So like to me it makes total sense within his character that he would choose to serve a Yonko. And like I'm just going to get up to the point where I have some sort of name recognition and then just, work under a Yonko and live the good life. And I mean, look at what he's been doing. He just came back through the harbor. It's implied that, like, he's just kind of been sailing around, probably pillaging, being a pirate, just serving under the Kaido name, having fun out there, fucking around. Like, I assume that's what he's been doing,
So I want to know when he was he always part of Kaido, or was he? Because keep in mind that Drake literally went to Kaido's
island, and one of his like outward islands, and fucked with one of the guards there. Yeah.
So I wonder how long Apu has been under Kaido's wing.
I assume he went into the New World. He strikes me as someone who went into the New World with the intention of joining a Yonko. And then, like, we learn that, obviously, in this chapter, when they got together to do that alliance, he was kind of like the in man, right? Like, he was going to pretend to be in the alliance, but actually be for Kaido. To kind of get dirt on the alliance, I assume, which I think is fucking hilarious, and that must have been fun as fuck for Apu. Like, think about Apu standing there, like with a fucking stopwatch, like, any minute now he's gonna fall from the sky.
It's funny too because they're actually gonna go for Shanks instead of Kaido. So
yeah, which is that is really funny.
It's funny to me that Kaido tried to stop them from going after Shanks. It's kind of funny to me that Kaido tried to stop them from going after Shanks.
I wonder if that was the intention, or if just... I mean, obviously the initial purpose for Kaido being up there and dropping was just another attempt to kill himself. But, like, I wonder if that was the case, or if... I almost get the vibe that he just lets Apu do whatever he wants, just as long as he do it under my name. So I think Apu is probably just like, oh, you guys are making an alliance to fuck with, Yonkos? Let me just sit in on this, see where it goes, I do want to talk about, before we get to the big news at the end of this chapter here, these fucking giants, the numbers, they fascinate me. Because, one, they're fucking huge.
Right.
What? Say again?
I like the design.
Me too. And you know what they remind me of? Kind of. Not fully, but, like, remember how in Thriller Bark there was, the big shadowy creatures that left, like, a shadow, and, like, we never found out what they were?
Mm-hmm.
Part of me hopes that they're connected to that. Do you remember that?
Not fully.
So as they left Thriller Bark, Oda showed this thing. Oda was talking about how, how in Thriller Bark, like, ships would continue to disappear and shit. It was like a ghost ship area, yada yada, like a ship graveyard.
Yeah.
So he was talking about how, like, the narrator chimed in at the end of Thriller Bark, and it was like, that wasn't just because of Moria. That was because Moria was only there for the last 20 years. Ships have been disappearing ever since this place existed. And then it zoomed out and it showed, like, a big shadowy creature that was fucking huge, right? So part of me hopes that that's kind of, like, related, because I like to think that these are going to be, like, a different species. I would like it to be related to, like, the Oars stuff, right? So, like, Oars' species, potentially. I just think that'd be cool. Because there's a lot of theories right now. In Thriller Bark, they called Oars part of a species, I don't remember, his nickname was the Continent Polar. I don't know if you remember that, but they called Oars the Continent Polar, as in, like, he could literally move continents himself because of how big he was. And if you look at Wano, the map of Wano, it's a bunch of different islands shoved into one island, which is why they all have different climates. You notice that?
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that Wano was created by these huge giant beasts pushing these islands into one. Literally, remember, he was called the Continent Polar. A lot of people are theorizing that these giants moved the islands into this formation, and that's what created Wano as we know it today, the Continent Polars. So it would make sense that they would live here.
Yeah, send me that Thriller Bark clip. I want to see it.
I will do that. I'll do it after the video, so I'm not, like, distracting, but I'll get it up in the manga when I get out of here. But yeah, so I think that's really interesting. These numbers, it's weird that they're called numbers, but I guess, yeah, these numbers things are genuinely the most fascinating thing. Like, the Alliance, which we'll get to in a second, is awesome, but the numbers really fascinate me because they're huge, and I hope that they're related to these, like, fucking giant behemoth things that are, like, terrifying, or some new species, or maybe related to Oars. I don't know, but they do fascinate me. All we really hear about them is that Queen says that they're the worst kind of drunks, and he hates them, which is hilarious to me.
That's definitely it.
Because, I mean, look at them. They're, like, they got their tongues out. Look, they're already drunk. Like, yeah!
really like the designs, man.
Me
I don't know what
too.
it is. I really like the designs.
Like, do you see how fucking big they are? Because look, like there's the size of like a normal human in the front, like the kids that are scared of them, and then like there's them. And keep in mind, they're like so far back that only their shadows are showing, so they're even bigger than they look.
Ooh,
Like, these might be bigger than like Watatsume.
looks like it.
I'm hype, honestly. Now, thoughts on the Alliance. Yo.
See, another Oda weirdness, because it's just like
No, but like it makes sense. Oda hyped this arc to be more hype than Marineford. It makes sense now. That's actually huge. Because do you realize how bad that is for the main characters? They have to take down 2 Yonko crews, bro.
so. And just like you said, here comes the Zoro versus Luffy disagreement, bro.
Yes.
Because look
Yes. Oh my god, yes. You're right.
going Big Mom's territory did.
Dude, yes.
This is
Please. Oh, Joy Boy is gonna be just jerking his dick like. That's actually so hype. Like Oda, hear me out. If you fucking if you don't capitalize on this, you're over. You're done. You're canceled.
it's funny too because this could be the start of this huge dispute after Wano after this. Because think about it, right? Because was it officially confirmed that Zoro was like, don't just tell Luffy going to the Big Mom or some shit like that?
So,
was that actually
I'll
like
give you
official?
the rundown, okay? So in Zou, when they wanted to go after Sanji, what he specifically said was, think about it, we're already fucking going up against Kaido. If you do this, we're going up against 2 Yonkos. So what you just said blew my fucking mind because it is exactly what Zoro predicted and warned Luffy against.
So after Wano, Zoro, this could be a humongous disagreement between Luffy and Zoro.
I don't even know if after Wano. I like to hope that it like the news breaks now and it happens sooner rather than later.
Because here's the thing, right? Especially if there are humongous depths because of this, which there probably will.
God.
Let's be honest, that's gonna be on Luffy's head.
No, you're so right, bro. You're 100% right. Because what has Zoro always been telling Luffy, right? If someone leaves, it is not up to you. You are the captain. It is not up to you to go get them. It is not up to you to do the heavy lifting for them. That is your subordinate, and they left. And not only did they leave, they went to another Yonko's crew when we're dealing with one already. So now, when they're charging in and they see not only Kaido's people, but Big Mom's people, and they're working together, and I guarantee you, we're going to have massive casualties. Zoro they're going to have to retreat. Here's what's going to happen, okay? This invasion's going to happen, but it's not going to work. They're going to fucking get slaughtered, and they're going to have to fall back. And that, my friends, is when we're going to get that Zoro Luffy argument, and I really hope it's good. And I want Zoro to just like tear the fuck into Luffy. Like, it is time for all the frustrations he's felt throughout the whole series to just finally come to a head. Because chapter 2, Zoro told Luffy, "Okay, I'll follow you, but if you do some dumb shit and get in the way of my dream, I'll cut you down myself." You know, and just I love that idea. In fact, and I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it. So. Thank you for that. That is hype, and now I am really hoping for that because that's actually genius. And not only that, but the other exciting thing is we might get a certain Mochi Man in on this fight.
Is Katakuri.
Can you
so
imagine?
It's just such a.
Can you imagine?
This chapter, man. This chapter is just. It's such a. I have to give it like a 8, maybe like a 7.5.
Whoa. But it's so good and yet so bad. How? Because it's good in the sense that it's hyping me the fuck up and a lot of awesome shit happened. It's bad in the sense that Oda went like high key on the off screening shit, which is unfortunate. But like the possibilities off of this, and if he's got to speed up in order to get to the good shit before this man just like passes out and dies, I get it, so I'll forgive it slightly, but like yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
it was a good chat all in all. Like, not it's just like a lot. It just felt different than Otis.
I'm okay with it though, because it was awesome.
It's cheap stabbing. Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 7.
Damn. So, really though, like even though okay, what's your biggest like problem with the chapter?
It just feels very different. It didn't feel like One Piece to me. Like, it had One Piece characters, but it felt masked as something else. Keep in mind, I don't really have any like big like off issues, but it's just like it feels like Oda almost went down the route of like I forgot what I was gonna do, inconsistencies and shit like that. Like it felt like Oda just gave us everything. Like we ordered one thing, but then like he just gave us like this, and this, even though we never ordered that. Right? Like so
yeah, to me it feels like he needs to get somewhere with it, and he's like I can see being in a place where you're writing a story and you're kind of like, all right, I want to get to the good shit now, time to just gas pedal it, right? Which is a shame. I do get that vibe, but I mean, let's be honest, we'll be over it by the time the next chapter rolls around. But yeah, you know, it would have been nice to see more of this stuff in detail, but now that you've hyped me up significantly for the idea of the Zoro-Luffy argument that I've wanted so badly, and genuinely, just the idea of them raiding Onigashima. Because here's the thing, if they're having an alliance, the first order of business on that alliance is going to be, all right, let's take down Luffy, right? Not only just let's take down Luffy, but also, what does Kaido want to do? He wants to start this massive war, so I'm not sure if he's going to take the war to them or if he's going to wait until they bring the war to him, you know? But either way, I'm expecting when they do this raid on Onigashima, there's going to be this big moment where they're going in, all of Kaido's people are there, and then they look to the left, and all of Big Mom's people are there, including my boy Katakuri, and that's going to be a moment, because you remember like when Luffy and Kobe kind of met on the battlefield, and they had that like, but we're friends moment. I feel like that's going to be a thing with Katakuri. There's going to be something interesting there, because Katakuri, he has a lot of respect for Luffy, but he's also going to be kind of duty bound, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I really hope Katakuri makes an appearance in this arc. Now that they've had the alliance here, I need more Katakuri. Like, I need him fighting on like a battlefield with the Kaido pirates, Katakuri Queen combo attacks. Like, give it to me.
Ooh, baby, man, this is some interesting shit.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Interesting shit.
As Thurman's audio decides to take a shit, I'll say peace.